Okay, when we're looking at the next lecture AccessB 2, we're going to talk about sort and find data and how to filter data. So when you're sorting and finding data, I'm going to pull up the table that is discussed in that pages 34 and 35. At the very top, the actual window you'll see is tours by category. If you open that category up, you'll see the listing like it shows at the bottom. And let's change this to, let's do tour date. Let's suit the newest to oldest. Okay, so that'll mix things up a little bit. So that mixes up the entries that we've gotten here. Let's look at the design view. The design view is this little triangle, ruler, and pencil over here on the left side of the frame. And if you do that, you can actually pull up your table design here that'll show you the different fields, different areas. And you can see here that for the tours, you're pulling tour number, tour name, duration, or start date, duration, city, state, abbreviation, category, and price. And for this sort, you're pulling just category, tour name, tour start date, and price. You're not pulling the rest of the data forward for that. So let's go back to the table view and let's talk about the find and replace. So if you want to find data in a database, it's the same way you would in an Excel spreadsheet or in a Word document. You're going to want to find the text that says find, which up here is the the binoculars on this toolbar at the top on the ribbon. Now if we want to look to find and replace, where the instructions of the textbook say to find sightseeing space and replace it with cultural. We're going to want to look in the current field, we're going to look and match the whole field, and we're going to search all of the data. So we're going to tell it to find the next listing. So here's a listing of sightseeing, and then we can tell it to replace. It'll find the next, replace, and it'll go through and replace every instance it finds of sightseeing with the word cultural like we're asking. And when you're working with sorting and finding data, it's key that you understand the buttons at the top here. This is sort ascending, so you're starting at the beginning and going up in value or in alphabetical order A to Z, number 1 through 20, etc. If you're going in sort in descending order, it's Z to A, you're going backwards, so you'd start with 20 and go back to 1. Remove sort, if you've got a sort that you've got there already and you want to clear all sorts, you want to clear it out, you push that. Find is the binoculars like I just said. Find and replace is this button here where A, B to AC. Go to is the arrow that's right below replace. And select is this button right here. All of these are in the find category on the ribbon. So the next slide, we want to take a look at filtering data. Filtering data is on Access 36 and 37. Filtering data allows you to temporarily display a certain set of records that match the criteria that you're setting. They're not used to calculate or do any data manipulation. Filters are removed when the data sheet's closed, but filters, however, can be saved as queries. So in other words, if you want to filter out a certain group of listings, go back to what we talked about earlier. If you're looking at, say, a group of salespeople, you're looking at salespeople, you're looking at regions, and you're looking at total sales of specific items. You could filter your data so you're only going to look at the customers in that customer list that belong to one particular salesperson. Or you could look at just one particular location, one particular region, one particular city, depending upon how your data was listed. So let's take a look back at that Excel spreadsheet that we were working with. And let's go in and we'll do something about filtering data, okay? Now, when you have this window widened, I'm going to open this up a little more so you can actually see the buttons I'm talking about. This is filter. This is selection. This is advanced selection or advanced filter. and this is to toggle filter. So you've got the option of being able to filter. The toggle filter is indicating records are filtered, and you can go back to unfiltered. So you've got sort and filter buttons are beside each one of the drop down menus. Like if we wanted to sort by category, let's sort by A to Z, or no, let's go Z to A. You'll see that it turns the alphabet around from starting with adventure. It starts with service and then goes down from there. So that adventure would be the first one in the group. If you sort by tour date, sort from the oldest to the newest, it will go from, oh, that wasn't right. It's sorting from the newest to the oldest. Now here we've got, well, the dates are kind of off because this goes 14 is the first year to the 16 is what this imaginary database goes up to 2016. So the oldest are actually 2014. That kind of threw me there. Oldest is 2014, and then 2015 are the 2 years that are involved in this database. So that shows you how to sort and how to filter. You can filter by filtering a group, filter the form data by the specific category here, and you can tell it to filter. You want just let's clear all these out, and let's just that's too many categories to pick from. Let's go back to this one and let's filter out anything except adventure and family. So we're going to save adventure and family. So that filtered out only family and adventure. And let's put these in alpha order the way they were. Sort A to Z. So we've got all the adventure, and then we have family. We don't have any of the cultural. We don't have any of the cultural. We don't have any educational or service travels. So here are the categories if we look at the categories that are available. But if you look at what we just sorted, we sorted adventure and family out, filtered those out of the whole group. And that's a different way you can filter. You can save this as a filter, or you can actually disregard this. So that covers pretty much filtering data. Let's go to the next slide. We've got a couple more slides to cover. Filter data by selection. You can filter by a given value. Filter records exact match, or you can filter by form. Comparative data, you can look at dates, you can look at times, you can look at locations. Okay, wildcards are used as the last piece of this B2 lecture. Wildcards are used when you're searching for items within a database and you aren't exactly sure, or you want to grab a large group. You can use an asterisk, or you can use a question mark. According to the textbook on page 36, you're going to use a question mark when you're looking for a single character, such as this specific letter. Like if you had something with a particular letter in, like a Q or a Z, and you knew you could find that. If you want to look for a group of criteria, question marks often used, or the wildcards are often used when you're looking for something that's like that, or if you're looking for a range of things, as it says in there. If you were looking for the dates between December 1st and December 31st, 2013, that's where you'd use the wildcard. If we do a find for it's cultural, but if we do it as a C with an asterisk at the end, you'll see that it's going to look for anything that starts with a C, and it pulls up the cultural. As you can see, it grabbed it there. Find next, cultural. So by using that asterisk, I'm telling it, find me anything that starts with a C and has at least one character after it. So let's see what else it finds that starts with a C. Besides the categories, it's not finding anything else. Let's try this one, see if there's anything in that category. Okay, if I went to tour name, it pulled up colonial tours, cactus language explorers. So you can actually go row by row, or you can do the whole database by looking current field or current document. If we go to current document and do that same thing, it's going to go cultural. To find all the cultural listings, then it'll go over to the tour name next. Oh, stop. Quit yelling at me. But that's how the wildcards work, and that's hopefully going to help you out a little bit with understanding what a wildcard is.